In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. I wish to preach, not the doctrine of ignoble ease, but the doctrine of the strenuous life. Wars are, of course, as a rule to be avoided, but they are far better than certain kinds of peace. To sit home, read one's favorite paper, and scoff at the misdeeds of the men who do things is easy, but it is markedly ineffective. It is what evil men count upon the good men's doing. We must dare to be great, and we must realize that greatness is the fruit of toil and sacrifice and high courage. For us is the life of action, of strenuous performance of duty. Let us live in a harness, striving mightily. Let us rather run the risk of wearing out than rusting out. Unless a man is master of his soul, all other kinds of mastery amount to little. It is a bad thing for a nation to raise and to admire a false standard of success, and there can be no falser standard than that set by the deification of material well-being in and for itself. I have never in my life envied a human being who led an easy life. I have envied a great many people who led difficult lives and led them well. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. No man needs sympathy because he has to work, because he has a burden to carry. Far and away the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. The best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and self-restraint to keep from meddling with them while they do it. It is not often that a man can make opportunities for himself, but he can put himself in such shape that when or if the opportunities come he is ready. Be practical as well as generous in your ideals. Keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president or any other public official. There is not a man of us who does not at times need a helping hand to be stretched out to him, and then shame upon him who will not stretch out the helping hand to his brother. The reason fat men are good-natured is they can neither fight nor run. If Lincoln had lived in a time of peace, no one would have known his name. Big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. Order without liberty and liberty without order are equally destructive. Old age is like everything else. To make a success of it, you've got to start young. Don't hit at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. A great man must not make up his mind merely to overcome 1,000 obstacles, but to win in spite of 1,000 repulses and defeats. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. Great thoughts speak only to the thoughtful mind, but great actions speak to all mankind. A man who has never gone to school may steal from a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad. The human body has two ends on it, one to create with and one to sit on. Sometimes people get their ends reversed. When this happens they need a kick in the seat of the pants. To educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. The pacifist is as surely a traitor to his country and to humanity as is the most brutal wrongdoer. The reactionary is always willing to take a progressive attitude on any issue that is dead. No people is wholly civilized where a distinction is drawn between stealing an office and stealing a purse. It is difficult to make our material condition better by the best law, but it is easy enough to ruin it by bad laws. To announce that there must be no criticism of the president is morally treasonable to the American public. Believe you can and you're halfway there. Nobody cares how much you know, until they know how much you care. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, The next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. No man is above the law and no man is below it, nor do we ask any man's permission when we ask him to obey it. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. People ask the difference between a leader and a boss. The leader leads, and the boss drives. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. When they call the roll in the Senate, the senators do not know whether to answer present or not guilty. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged have all their five senses in the keeping of their wits. Character, in the long run, is the decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike. I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do. That is character. Absence and death are the same, only that in death there is no suffering. Leave it as it is. The ages have been at work on it and man can only mar it. The unforgivable crime is soft hitting. Do not hit at all if it can be avoided, but never hit softly. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. The most successful politician is he who says what the people are thinking most often in the loudest voice. A man who is good enough to shed his blood for the country is good enough to be given a square deal afterwards.